Hey, what's up, everybody?
I'm Ranuma.
And I'm Iz.
And welcome to the R&I Podcast. What's
up?
going on? So today we're going to be talking about what to wear in a job interview.
Yeah. What do you wear in a job interview?
I wear clothes. What do you wear?
I wear my skin. Like, not on top. I mean, not naked.
I think everybody does that.
Yeah. No, but really, for when you're getting ready for a job interview, it really depends on where you're interviewing at. You know what I mean? You don't want to wear like a suit and tie at a carnival ride operator job interview. I mean, you don't dress like that. However, you do what? You do dress to impress, right?
Right. I mean, going back to that, maybe, who knows, maybe it's themed. It's themed where you have to wear a suit.
Maybe.
As a roller coaster operator. You never know.
Hey. I mean, but is it really a suit? I mean, it'd be a costume, right?
Like a little onesie, you know?
Yeah, like a onesie that looks like a suit on the outside, but really it's just, you just got holes for your arms and legs and you're good to go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you definitely want to do your research before you go into any kind of job interview. Kind of like, I interviewed for Stanley Steamer, which is a cleaning company. I've interviewed for TSA, Homeland Security. And let me tell you, I dressed differently for both. I made sure that I was going into into the area with some kind of relatability with how, the flow is. And the Stanley Steamer job I got through my friend, and he told me to dress like nice, don't dress too casual, just dress like you would, like a flannel, jeans, and like boots would be good. I was like, oh, like a construction.
Yeah. So, that's kind of vibe I got.
Construction, I was like, okay, I came up with I had a 3-button up polo with like jeans. I think it was just blue jeans. And I didn't have like nice shoes. I just used my sneakers that I had. Yeah. They were just I think they were New Balance, but I mean, New Balance.
When you said Stanley Steamer, I was like, immediately, are you wearing Dickies or what? Dickies shorts?
I did have, I did have like something like that but that was in the uniform. That was already after I got hired.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah,
it's like, what if they want to see you, dress up as if you're going to be, actually doing the job,
right?
Something like that. Where because as a medical professional, there's this one time where I just got out of work, and this place was hiring, and they needed a respiratory therapist, and they were willing to work with me. They were just saying, yeah, just go ahead and come in. And I literally told them, I'm not gonna have enough time to change. So, and they're like, oh yeah, just come in. I was in my scrubs.
Oh,
I was in my scrubs. What I like to call PJs.
I was just about to ask. I was like, could you interview in scrubs?
Yeah, I literally went in scrubs.
What?
And
what color scrubs?
It was navy blue. Actually.
Oh, okay.
So I went in, and believe it or not, I was wearing the same colors in the company. So, so I was like, oh yeah, you're wearing the same colors as if you were working here,
So it's almost like you had to interview, but you've already had the job,
Yeah.
Like you've been working for a week,
I guess
but you already had
it. Like, let me see what you look like.
They're like, I'm sorry, but we hired you before we did the interview. I'm sorry.
We just want to see the personality, I guess,
Exactly. Have you ever interviewed someone else?
I haven't. I mean, technically I did. I was like one of those sit-in ones where, here, you're going to be supervising this guy, right? And so I would be right beside the manager, and I'm just like right over here. So she purposely told me to look at how they act, look at how they react to questions, see how responsive they are.
They were training you.
Yeah, basically.
Have you ever been like, hey, yo, just don't say this word, and they walk past you, and try to hey, this is how you get this is how you get the job. Don't say this.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Have you ever done that? Can you imagine how many people
just don't say go.
Don't say go. Don't say that word.
Don't even go. Don't even go. Just
it's like, all right, this isn't a good interview. Just say you want to reschedule. What, you just got here? No, just reschedule. Get out of here. Save yourself.
Just don't go. Just don't go. All right. Don't even think about it.
Can you? Have you ever heard of stories like that in your profession? Medical field. There must be tons of people that go there, you know?
I honestly, when I worked in the hospital, there would be times where I would hear stories where they're telling the interviewers, like, yeah, make sure you wear blue. I mean, it's so
Gotta
bad.
wear blue.
Oh, make sure you stand up. They like eye contact. Make sure you look at them.
Right. But this is before you do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, you're psyching them out like really bad.
Right. All this
they end
pressure.
up getting hired anyways.
Oh.
Why? Because they didn't even listen to the guy.
They came in with red.
Yeah.
They kept talking over the interviewee. You're hired. We like you.
It was exactly like that. I'm like, dude, see, why you even talk to him? Don't even just let him do his own thing. And he got the job. I'm
So
like,
then,
wow.
okay, then it's like you can't really give him answers. Then, even though you're just like, I'm just viewing. So just do what you got to do.
Yeah, I know. Unless he heard through the grapevine, he learned otherwise. Maybe he learned, like what you said.
Right.
He learned to wear red.
Mm-hmm.
Learned to slouch. Or taught him, just what not to do, and he did it.
I remember my interview with TSA Homeland. Obviously, that's
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
the
about
government
that.
job. So, oh man, this is so I applied back in 2006.
Yeah.
I think in like January, or I want to say not January. When was it? I forget, but I'm pretty sure it was January 2006. And I went ahead and applied and all that stuff, and 6 months later, it was like a long process. It took 2 years to get to this interview.
I believe it.
And so in 6 months, I get called in to do like some kind of test, and I did the test. I passed it.
Yeah.
And then second one was like, I want to say like a month later, which was actually very fast. And I was like, oh, wow, this is actually going by pretty fast. And my auntie was the one that helped me out with this. And she's all like, oh, for this test, you want to make sure you focus on this. And I was like, okay. So I focused on this and I passed. And I was like, yes. And then the third one was the interview. That was the third part.
Right.
So I did the interview, and it was with two dudes in like suits. Now I knew that it was going to be in a suit because obviously it's a government job. You want to look snazzy.
Slacks and everything.
Slacks, dress shoes. I had that, but the dress shoes I used was so hold on. So the dress shoes I used were from choir. I had choir dress shoes.
I remember those shoes.
I had my choir slacks, and I had my prom button up, my white button up, and a tie. I had all that, and I went in like a champ. I'm just saying, and plus it was cold, so I had like a jacket that didn't have the hoodie ones. So I had a regular jacket, and I zipped it like halfway up, so it looked like it was a blazer.
Oh, geez.
So I want to say I looked like a helicopter operator, but maybe not. But it looked good to me. I felt good. I was confident, and
You felt elite.
I felt pretty elite. I felt like an elite that was almost retired. Because I think it was like a leather. I don't think it was even my jacket, to be completely honest.
You got to dust off your shoes.
But yeah, I just remember that it was just like that. And then my buddy dropped me off, and then I did my test with the interviews, because there's a test with them there. There's two of them, just like how I'm sitting here, and then there's one person being interviewed in the front. So it like they were towering too. They were pretty tall dudes. They're like 6'2", 6'3". And like I'm not that tall, so
Good thing these guys are sitting down, right?
yeah, they look taller because they were in like
They're like this.
I was in like one of the I was in those little swiggly chairs, and I went and I went all the way down. But I mean, I was just trying to be comfortable, you know what I mean? I was super nervous. These
Make
guys,
yourself look smaller.
right?
Good job, these.
You know what I mean? And then, so we joked around a little bit, and he's like, yo, man, we really like your attitude, this and that, and whatever. So that was after an 8-month period of just kind of testing and interviewing. And then I didn't start getting called into work until 2 years later, or another year and 2 months later. So 14 months later.
Wow.
They were like, but it was kind of whack, because they were like, hey, we have an opening on Kauai. I was like, what? Where? I live in Las Vegas. And they're like, Kauai. I was like, that sounds dope.
It's like, that's pretty close.
And then I want to say 3 months later, because I had to decline because I didn't live there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we have a new opening in Kona. And I was like, oh, my hometown. But that's still in Hawaii, and I'm not there.
It's close. It's close. Not.
Yeah. But, it was definitely a good A good experience. I think after a while, I just realized that they just weren't calling for Las Vegas. And so,
Dang. But 2 years.
yeah, it took about 2 years to get to being called in to work, but it took about 8 months to get to the first interview. There was only one interview, really.
Wait, you said 10 months or 2 months to get in there?
It took 8 months to get
8
to
months.
the initial first interview. The first two was tests, and the third one was another test with an interview. So that's why. Oh yeah, and they were like, oh yeah, this counts as like 2 interviews. So
Yeah.
if we like you, which we do, I was like, oh, you guys are really forward about that. I mean,
So what
yeah,
what were you doing in that time frame of waiting then? Were you like
I was
applying at
I
other
w-
places or
I was applying. I was applying at other places. I was doing sign holding by St. Rose Hospital.
I remember that.
And I got so sunburnt, like like my neck was just like a different color altogether. And I got that job because I found it on Craigslist. And then I went to the interview, and I wore a polo, like 3-button-up polo, jeans, and sneakers, the same one, the New Balance, and
I remember those shoes for some reason. Those
And,
ones was white and a navy blue end.
yeah, that's the one, yeah. Yeah, they're just like, oh wow, okay, cool, we like your look. You just go here onto the corner, and then da da da. I was like, on the corner, excuse me.
Dang.
What? No, but it was in the daytime, and so it was the jewelry store on Horizon Ridge, I think it was, and Eastern by the St. Rose Hospital. So I was just over there. So if you guys remember me back in like 2009, 2008, 2009,
That was him. That
that
this
was
guy.
me. Also, while I was waiting, I was also working at Stanley Steamer at the time.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was doing a lot of
But TSA took a while.
yeah, TSA did take a long time, and that was normal. So like, I want to say like after the first year, so after my initial interview with the two guys, I tried to look on YouTube. I was pretty active user on YouTube back in the '09, and I saw some people talk about the process of TSA and how it takes a long time. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, well, cool. So I did my research before, the next time they called me, or
Yeah.
should I go in to take classes. I did have to they gave me like this huge notebook and be like, you're going to have to study this as soon as you get hired. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, I had to study. I was also in college. I mean,
Yeah.
you left me. You and Alejandro left me at college. They
But
went up
look,
to
it's a
higher
full
learning,
circle. I came back.
and I
so.
stayed. And yeah, so that was that whole spiel. So when applying for Stanley Steamer, I kind of
Don't wear Dickies, basically.
yeah. Don't. I mean, you can, but make sure they're Dickie pants
That's true. Yeah.
and or button up Dickie
Button
button
up.
ups. I had those, and yeah. So those two are very different jobs, and I dress differently for both interviews. And yeah, as long as you do your research on where you're going, I think it'll be a lot easier to try to get hired.
Yeah. I think I'm just piggybacking on doing your research. My very first RT job, my very first respiratory therapy job was at a home care company where we go and deliver items or medical equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I did my research. I'm like, what are these guys wearing? They're wearing like khakis and a polo shirt like what I'm wearing right now. And so I did that. I came in, I had khaki pants with those brown dress shoes, and I was wearing a polo shirt like this. And I came in, I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm not answering what's up. I was like, hey, my name is Randolph.
You said, hey, what's up? You definitely did.
It's like almost natural. It's like, hey, my name's Randolph. Very awkwardly, I guess. And
He's lying. He goes like, yo, what up? My name Randolph.
my name Randolph.
How y'all doing? That's how he talked to
Just
you.
like that. Like
His whole panel,
that.
ladies.
Oh, jeez. Anyways. So I was interviewing with them, and yeah, he like how we are right now,
Mhm.
trying to hold in our laugh. Yeah, he was too. The manager was trying to hold in his laugh too. And and then in the end, after he closed the books and everything, he's like, so why did you come in like this? I'm like, because I was taught to do research on the company. I saw pictures on your website that had khaki pants and everything, and he just straight up busted out laughing on my face, and I'm like, okay. So I come back later, second interview. No, okay. He's like, no, you got the job. I like you. So I was like, yes, I got it.
I wonder what was going on in his head. Like, look at this guy walking in here like that, looking like he already a part of the team. I like this guy.
He's like, I like it. You're thinking ahead. Thinking ahead. We need that. Some critical thinking person. Some critical thinking person up in our
That's
staff.
pretty smart. That's pretty smart. Like you dressed up to start working that day for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny because I didn't start working until like 2 months later. They had to do a double take, probably.
Oh,
probably still laughing for 2 months at me. I don't know. So who knows?
Oh, I forgot that I had a second interview because there was layoffs at Stanley Steamer.
Oh wow.
And then so they called me back and I was like, oh dope, So I went back in and this interview was different.
Oh jeez.
So this interview I came in with like just shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt. And they just welcomed me back. Hey, here's your uniforms. I was like, I thought I was here for another interview because like management changed a little bit. And they're like, yeah, but we know you. I was like, okay, cool.
Dang, he's like,
so if you have clout at the place, then yeah. But I mean, if you do what Ranuma here did,
it was a risk I was willing to take. I mean,
man, that was a perfect risk.
It was awesome.
Look at this guy right here, looking like he a part of the staff. That's what I'm talking about.
I was turning so red. I knew he was trying to hold his laugh in, and I was trying to avoid eye contact as much as I can too. And I was just like, my. And I told the truth. I'm like, I was taught to do research.
He's like, what do you do on your weekends? He can't even look at you. He's like, nope.
I felt like putting in my portfolio right in front of my face, but
cut like eye holes.
He'll be laughing the whole time then, Oh jeez. And then another place where I got interviewed before even going into respiratory therapy school was being security for Las Vegas Convention Center. Mm-hmm. So they got the armed and then the unarmed, and obviously I went for the unarmed. Me and my dad actually went there. I was just looking for a weekend job, and
Were you really unarmed? I mean, look at these guns right here. Huh?
Nah, these are just no. My little 9mm.
Oh.
I'm still working on it. Come on.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Anyways.
You were looking for a side job?
Yeah, the side job. So my dad, he actually got me into it, because he was so bored. He just hit retirement, and he's like, I don't even know what to do with myself. So he began searching up ways to earn money, kind of like under the table.
Right.
So he was doing security, and he got me into it. So I saw what he wore. He wore the blazer, tie, slacks, and everything. So I, again, research, came in with my blazer from Goodwill.
Hey, man, whatever works. Doesn't matter where you buy your stuff, guys.
Got it from Goodwill, the slacks, and funny you brought up choir shoes. My choir shoes.
That's what I'm talking about. Choir
was
shoes.
on my feet during that interview. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Reason why? The person that was interviewing me was in choir also.
And they recognize the shoe?
He recognized
the laces that kind of go like this?
Yeah. He's like, I like what you're doing right there. I think you can stand guard and sing at the same time.
Yeah, yes.
Let's go ahead and get you on board. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Like, what do you sing? Tenor, bass, baritone? Because we need some tenors. I'm tenor. All right, go just get over here.
Put me wherever you want, and I'll sing whatever you want.
We have these complimentary bow ties.
It was funny because my choir group in high school, we were called the Men in Gold.
The Men in Gold.
The Men in Gold. And I still have the shirt. It's all shiny with the shiny,
cool.
Gold tie. So
I thought you were gonna see that little. I don't know, that sash.
Did you guys have a bow tie?
No. Oh wait, yes we did. Yes, but
what was your colors though? I bet it wasn't gold. Like
it was definitely not gold. No, it was just
like
regular.
We were strippers, dude. It was crazy.
Were you taking off your stuff?
was-
Like, ooh, unbutton my shirt off while I sing. That'd be kind of felt like strippers. I did have the bow tie. I always tried to do like the little spinny thing that you see in the cartoons, but you can't if it's a real bow tie. So, so you got to get the actual bow ties that actually do that. So that was unfortunate. I was a little let down.
Dude.
Yeah. Before we started, I was like, hey, it doesn't spin. They're like, yeah, it's because it's real. I'm like, oh.
How would it?
I was young, guys. I was young. I was dumb. Okay. I think this episode is a little funny. It's a little to us. If you guys are laughing with us, it's your fault. So there was some cool stories about IT interviews. Bless you.
Thank you.
So for IT, most of the people that work in IT, you don't even really need to meet the interviewers like in person.
You don't.
You don't have to.
You're like,
you're
like right in front of the computer. Like,
yeah. It's almost like, I mean, like, take if you're watching us on YouTube right now, like right now we are the one interviewing you. But you could be literally just in like a hoodie and then just like underwear, and we would never know because you only see your, from like your shoulder up. So like literally IT interviews, obviously you can definitely underdress. IT stuff is, I would say more based off of what you know and how well you can execute a job. So I thought it was funny that, when some of my friends who were hired as IT specialists, they were sometimes half naked, and I'm like, what? They would just have the button up tie, but they ain't wearing anything on the bottom. I was just like, why would you? What? I was like, you walk around naked in your house? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well.
This is back before COVID hit, right?
Yes. This is back in like 2016, 2017.
See, those guys were getting ready,
Yeah.
because of COVID coming in.
See, IT, yeah. So IT, if you guys are getting into IT, for anybody that's in that that area of expertise, I mean, you guys have it easy. You know what I'm saying? You guys have it easy. Y'all.
That's true.
Y'all could even send a video. You could send the same video to different interviewers. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I had an IT friend. He came in. He was dressed up like on everything with the slacks and everything. And I'm like, just looking at him like, you're gonna be behind a desk, right? He's like, yeah. You're gonna be chatting with people? Yeah. Are you gonna be showing your face? They're like, no. I'm like, what?
Why you look so good then?
I know, like you going to a club or something, or what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. It's like one of those things where like this dude looking well dressed, and then like all the office ladies are out there just like looking at him like, you're not gonna.
I think that's
what are you doing?
I think that's what he was doing it for. He's like,
oh yeah, he's like for all the ladies. The things we do, I mean, they do.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I've never seen or heard of a fully dressed IT dude, but he's going into an interview. That's a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're going in as in person these days, or in the past, I want to say 2-3 years, you could just do it from your home. Most interviews outside of IT, even interviews online.
Yeah, my cousin, he had an interview as a respiratory therapist also, and his was actually online. They have the Zoom meeting and stuff. So I'm like, aren't they supposed to look at how you react, especially as a clinician? And like, no, they just need to see my face and talk. I'm like, oh man, I wish it was that easy, just come in there with a nice shirt and I don't know, like shorts and flip flops or something on your feet in the interview. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, in Hawaii, it is okay to go to most job interviews in an aloha shirt, such as this. My dad, he used to work for Roberts Hawaii, and he would come in looking like a musician in Hawaii. Now, musicians in Hawaii got the slacks, dress shoes, and aloha print shirt, and then you'll just see a huge guitar backpack on their backs, and they go into the gigs, okay? And that is basically how you could interview for most jobs in Hawaii, from from my sources.
So anywhere in Hawaii?
Anywhere, yeah. Because it's I don't know, it was like a normal thing. Because it's seen as professional attire.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like if you go to if you go to like a graduation,
Yeah.
like a lot of the teachers under the gowns, all Hawaiian print most of the time. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Also, when I think in police, what is that? Promotions and stuff like that. A lot of the government officials always wear aloha print. I mean, the governor wears aloha prints on his addresses.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? So like it is considered proper business attire, etiquette, like very, I want to say like an elegance to it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I think they do that for what do you call it? It's more appropriate for where they're going to be at.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So and in the Philippines they have something similar called the polo barong, and it's like very transparent. Not too transparent though. You know,
is it those shiny suits?
Ones.
I've always wanted one.
And those are to us as formal as you can get. You know.
Do you have one?
I used to have one. I don't know where it went. It was like a green one that I had to wear for a wedding. Oh. And it was pretty big on me, so I think I gave it to somebody that needed it, who had longer arms than me. So I don't know who does. My arms are pretty long too. So,
it's like super long. Extended.
So I ended up giving it to somebody, but I need to get another one. But those things are pretty nice.
Could you go into an interview with those? You think?
Maybe in the Philippines.
Maybe.
Go to the Philippines, like, hey, I got the stuff.
Check me out.
It's all
wedding ready. There you go. Wedding ready.
That's my brother-in-law wore his on his wedding. Remember?
Oh yeah.
His was blue. Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't even realize. I forgot.
Yeah, it was blue with some sort of design, but it wasn't as transparent as like the
traditional ones.
The traditional one.
Oh, okay. Did you buy it from the Philippines or here?
I think my mom or my parents went to the Philippines and bought them.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So it's authentic. Mine, if I'm trying to get one. So,
so
if you know of a place here in Vegas that actually sells them that comes straight from Philippines, let me know.
So another form of interviews I brought up earlier today to Ranuma here. I was like, my younger brother had an interview at school for it was a private high school out in Hawaii, and I asked him earlier today. I was just like, hey, like did you wear anything like formal in your interview? And he's like, I wore my my white and transparent flowered Hawaiian print shirt. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh wow, that's a nice shirt, because we both had that back in the day. I don't fit that anymore. It was an extra large. And so he was like, yeah, I wore that, and I was like, okay, cool. Were you wearing like black slacks? He's like, nah, I had jeans. I was like, jeans?
Wait, what?
Blue jeans. I was like, blue jeans. Now this like the white was like this white,
yeah,
but the flowers were all transparent. It was like a transparent color, so it was like frosty. Wow. You know what I mean? So it looked really nice. Oh, it was from Hilo Hattie's. I don't know if any of you guys from Hawaii has ever shopped there. It's expensive, but it's great. He had that, and I love that look. It was great. And but when he said he was wearing the jeans, I was like, oh wait, okay. And then he said that a lot of the other boys was wearing surf shorts. Mm-hmm. Some of them was wearing like regular t-shirts, casual. A lot of them were casual. Some in slippers. And I'm like, oh really? I was like, oh. And it's like, but the girls though were different. They were all dressed up in the
dresses,
like in the dresses, but with Hawaiian print.
Yeah.
A lot of them. He's saying like some of them were solid colors like black, red, or blue or whatever. But he said a lot of it was really nice and had the Hawaiian print on it. And but yeah, he said he was, so out of everybody that he saw in the interview, there was only one person going through, and Pono got through.
Whoa.
My brother got through, yeah. So he got through with all that. And I was just like, with jeans? In my head, I'm like, Jeans?
You do
But
this
hey,
research.
he
Maybe they
did.
like people in jeans in there. You know?
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And
But then it's a private school.
it's a private school. It was probably the content of how he was like, when they give you questions and stuff, it was probably how he answered. And he was saying that
reaction.
he believes that the interview criteria was more in the questions and how you react in society. I think it was more a societal kind of answer that they were looking for.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. He was just like, they wanted to make sure that you were rounded, like you weren't just tech smarts and you weren't just street smarts. You were both.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was just like, wow, I never thought about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, you had to have both. And he's all like, I had a little bit of both. So I was lucky. I was like, yeah, heck yeah. I was like, when were you like tech smart? And then because out of nowhere, he just was like super, super computer brain. So it makes sense. He started, he was like, he was raised in the streets. No, we weren't. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But private high schools, they normally have an interview phase, and a lot of it is to see if you can be both, I guess, tech smart and street smart. If you have both, you are considered like, I guess, very competent, like a very competent person. Yeah,
that too.
So yeah, I'm not tech smart, so I'm just street smart. That's just me.
You're not tech smart.
I mean, we had tons of tech issues. Am I right? Am I right?
Like our Saturday meetings.
Like I said.
For some reason, every time I'm facing the webcam with this guy, everything just shuts off. Mm-hmm. When I'm talking to Matt, everything's all cool. And when I'm talking to this guy, I'm like, done. It's just.
And if my mouse is a different color from everything else that's set up, I get mad and I, click on the software that just mutes me. So all of a sudden, I'm just. And then I just turn it back on like an hour later. But, I'm not that, Wait, that's tech smart. I said text smart.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
See, guys. That's geez. Anyway,
palm to the forehead.
Totally. You got any other interview styles or I guess things to?
So how would a Disneyland princess dress?
A Disneyland princess. I think she would have to try to look like the princess that she wants to portray. So
is it more like
maybe wear a dress similar to it?
Because when you're, for me, when you go to Disneyland, everybody's a performer, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're auditioning to be that princess, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
So okay, the dress and everything. I think whoever's interviewing that princess, would have to go past the appearance, right? And be like, so how would you sing this?
Oh yeah, they would have to sing, huh? Yeah.
Or how would you say this as if a 9-year-old came up to you asking you a silly question? How would you respond? Mm-hmm. So
that's interesting. I wonder, like, if anybody's watching that has been a Disneyland princess or prince, and has any,
Oh yeah.
If you can teach us the ways of trying to become one at Disneyland, or even the Disneyland or the Disney Carnival cruise.
Yeah, you can teach him to be how to be the Disney.
Yeah, let me be a beast. No, prince. What?
Oh, prince.
I could be princess. I could be Belle. I could play a good Belle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
What? I look just like Belle from France.
Let me guess. I'm Mulan. No.
I think I'd be more like what is that guy from Lilo and Stitch? The big shark.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I don't know his name.
I forgot his name.
Gargantuan. I don't know. Oh no, that's a game piece. Anyway, so yeah, if anybody who is watching or listening that has been a Disneyland princess or prince, go ahead and leave a comment on our YouTube. That'd be great because I would love to see how that process is, or at least hear about it. There's probably a video about it somewhere, but it'd be dope to get it from the person who watches and or listens to us.
Yeah. So here's another one. Since we're out in Vegas, or we're in Las Vegas, Cirque du Soleil, the performers, how
do they get it?
How do you think they get interviewed? Or not only that, but what do you think they get? Like, what do you think they wear?
That's a good question. So I think it all depends on what part they're going for. So like if Cirque, How do you say that? Cirque du Soleil. I could never say it correctly.
You got it though.
Cirque du Soleil. Okay,
Yep.
so for that they would, if you wanted to be a dancer, you would obviously probably wear stuff that dancers wear to make it so you can move without it ripping, because that would be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying?
Like
But
tights?
like tights,
Yoga
Spanx,
pants? What?
Spanx.
Spanx?
It's another term for, I guess, tights.
Gotcha.
So
He is
tutus.
technical, so
tutu, and I think for the singers, you know, they would probably dress like very nice, like a performer would. So like maybe a designer button up with like nice fitted jeans and a nice pair of dress shoes, and they'll probably sing. You know, their hair is gonna be all made up. So I think for it'd be like an acting audition. It'd be more of an audition than really an interview.
yeah.
Um,
Just like the Disneyland Princess and Prince.
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I think an audition would be just as important as an interview. I mean, that is literally you selling yourself. You know, just like I would also consider a date being an interview when you go on a date with somebody.
Dude, that's like those interviews are just
They're not very good
oh
sometimes
my gosh.
because you can't really do much research on said person because that's stalking.
Yeah.
You can
It's
only,
actually true.
you know, you gotta ask her friends that you somehow may know.
It's like, I read your Facebook here that you smoke 2 times a day. Like, how?
It says
Why?
here that you shower every 3 days. What's up with that?
Could you elaborate on that? You know?
I mean, if you kind of came in hot like that, yeah, for sure. But, you know,
Man.
auditions, interviews, dates, they're probably all the same. On a date, you wouldn't dress like, you know, you ain't got no home training. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to go to, let's say, you're not going to go to Fleming's in a tank top, board shorts, and slippers. No.
Not unless
know
you
what
own
I'm
the
saying?
place.
Unless you
No.
own the place, of
Yeah,
course.
that's
But
a
he's not
different
going to be
story.
showing himself in the front.
Yeah.
He'd be coming in through the back, be like, hey, guys, I'm here to pick up my money.
Jeez.
So yeah, you know what I mean? Like dressing up is very important. Like aside from, you know, the audition side, like I've always wondered how it was for people to interview if they were entertainment managers. So people that hire or the ones that hold auditions. I wonder what they were. They're probably like an office.
Probably more
job.
of an office, only because they're so administrative in a sense. So they have to, for them, I think appearance wise, they have to look professional at all
Right.
times, you know, especially as a manager, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So with them, slacks, everything blazer, and what about? That just popped into my head actually.
What's up?
What about a World Wrestling Entertainment?
I wonder how The Rock went in. He was just like, "Hi, sir, I would like to work in your establishment of wrestling."
But he has a whole bunch of connections. I mean, his dad, come on, Rocky Johnson,
That's true. He did have connections,
and then his grandfather.
but I mean, like, how do you get there? Like, there has to be a point zero, I guess. In
I
a
got
sense.
it. I think it's an audition, right? Because it's entertainment.
That makes sense.
Also, you know what I mean? So I think more of entertainment, but you also have to have that certain amount of charisma.
True.
Again, like The Rock, you know?
The Rock did have a lot of charisma, that's for sure. I mean,
I think he had a little bit too much that he stepped into the realm of acting. No, I guess not too much. I shouldn't say that. He had a good amount, I guess, you know?
he had a ton. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say a lot of his acting would be from the WWE or WWF. It was that
WWF.
Raw. That was WWF Raw. Remember that?
Man, yeah.
WCW.
I know when you're trying to look at videos that says WWF, it's all blurred out now. I'm like, yeah, that's prohibited now. You can't even say anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, for wrestlers or at least wrestlers that are on TV, I would assume it's also an audition phase.
Mhm.
But there's also has to be like maybe like a criteria of maybe strength. So like, I had a friend back in college. He studied wrestling, like entertainment wrestling, and he said that he had to train every day just to be able to take those hits. Like when people slam on you, those are real slams. Like every move in wrestling is real.
Yeah.
the outcomes, I don't know if it's that, I don't think a lot of that is real, but the actual impact is very real, and
Right.
that is where you have to train your body. So I'm assuming you would have to. There has to be a fitness test and maybe a wellness interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like maybe if you see blood and you faint, then you may maybe not be that kind of career for you,
Yeah. It's like, okay, you're done.
right? But yeah, so like we were saying, interviews, auditions, and even what was that? Even for high school,
Yeah.
going into high school or private high schools.
Or even, you know what? College. Don't they do interviews there?
Oh yeah, they do.
Like
Yeah, some
those high
high
Ivy League
ones.
ones.
Yeah. And there was one more. Oh, dates. Yeah, that's right.
Oh god.
So
The
yeah,
most awkward one.
so the
date.
most awkward one. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
and there was always had that awkward space. But anyway, yeah. So do your research. Obviously, he is the idol of doing the research and getting the job. Like this guy, definitely follow him. And
Except don't just be too literal. Like
yeah, don't look like you
at the
actually
picture
work.
and copy and paste it onto yourself.
Don't
you
get
know?
it embroidered. Don't get it on the shirt.
Like you get like I'm working for so and so. It's like the logos right here, so and so.
Yeah, and make sure you always look nice. You always look presentable, and you fit the area you want to work in, whether it's a job or a career, and you stick at it.
Yep.
You stay with it.
And reaction.
Oh yeah,
The way you respond to questions, they also just look at that. The way you present yourself and the way you say certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's just how you talk too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't like. There's some interviewers that do that, believe it or not. They're just really prejudiced against that. I don't know why.
That wraps up this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. And thank you to White Wong Media. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Yeah, and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment on YouTube. All the links are down below. Thanks again for tuning in.
See you next time.